Well, watch now. Now we're playing.
He was playing already.
Yeah, but now I'm playing.
The hand
I see
before
that, but
this.
now I'm playing.
Tran has bluffed him and showed it.
Now I'm gonna play with him.
He actually plays, he doesn't just talk about it.
I love to see rolling needle in Helmuth. He's one of the best.
Oh,
isn't
I
he?
called him down for his whole stack third pair last year. You don't remember that? You want to play with me? You got it, my friend. You've declared war. I've accepted your terms.
This is Phil kind of owning himself here, really, with the speech.
I'm in for the big blind, I think.
And Helmuth had been getting shown a lot of bluffs in this entire Premier League.
You can't get 3-bet if you don't raise, right?
I think Tran had just made a move on him the last hand.
Can't get 3-bet if you limp.
Raise it. Yeah, but you
Punish
can
him
get
for
raised.
limping. Yeah, punish him. Teach him a lesson.
Punish the limpers.
Yeah,
And
punish
he's
them.
doing it the same way all the time. Helmuth cannot deal with JC Tran limping. He just like, he can't accept it. He's raised this out of the small blind.
It was funny how he announced he declares wars and then immediately raises. I think he's just steaming.
Oh, he's steaming here. He just cannot bear to be shown up. Now, of course, in Premier League 3, even though JC won, Helmuth did make a couple of great reads against him, and I think he's just out to outplay him all the time.
That is 35,000.
I don't know how Helmuth's going to butcher this hand, but I just remember it felt like he did. I mean, it's not a great hand to 3-bet with in the first place, is it? But
Nah.
you gotta bet the flop when you
Especially
do.
against someone who's quite sticky like JC Tran. He's going to peel you a lot when he doesn't hit, and
48.
you know he's going to try and outplay you. He's not just going to give up if he misses.
And Helmuth's betting here because he thinks he's behind, or because he's
just betting to try and blow JC off like a type of hand he has, or your hand like pocket sixes or pocket fives that he might have called with as well. He obviously just expects JC to fold those on the turn.
And I wonder if, can you sometimes call here and try and win this on the river if you're JC? I can't
I
remember.
like to call here, yeah, because once you call again here, it kind of looks like you have an ace. And it's not too often that Phil Helmuth tries to get you off those big hands.
In fact, going for the raise, does it make it feel more like a bluff to you?
Yeah, it feels more like a bluff, but Phil Helmuth's the type of player that doesn't really do too much about it. It's hard to do. I mean, what do you do here with 10-2?
23,000 total.
The amazing thing is Tran can only get him off a hand like this. He must know there's a legitimate chance that Phil has something like this.
Yeah. Phil Helmuth's steaming, look.
I mean, it is. He's played this hand. Just you can't play like this against JC. You can't push JC Tran on like this unless you're willing to shove it in, right?
Yeah, yeah. JC's played this hand really well. I'd love to see what's going on in Phil's head right now.
But
Tran's
Tran's going to show him the hand after, like
yeah,
for
he
sure.
has to show after that table talk, doesn't he? I'm looking forward to the Roland DeWolf needle too.
Yeah, you just know it's coming. Even though JC would not go on to win this Premier League, he did beat Phil at every turn.
How much you have left? I guess maybe you have me covered, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, he really wants to shove, doesn't he?
Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to fold after all that speech, and his read isn't too bad. He obviously thinks that he might be getting bluffed here, so
Nice
he's
move.
having a good think about it.
Well done.
He even said, "Nice move."
You don't have an ace, do you?
He passed, and Tran's going to show him now. Watch Phil explode.
Oh, now I'm really on tilt.
We just seen a champion Hold'em player at work.
What 5 is spade?
I've had lots of guys show me bluff, 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 and then when I get all their chips, they don't say.
Likely someone has a 7. Likely, like Chidwick probably would have bet a 7 on the flop. You only got to worry about Kenny having a 7. And if he raises here, okay, probably easy to get away from Ace-Jack.
Yep. I'm curious it'll be interesting what Chidwick does if he just calls
So Kenny is currently in the tank, and he's wondering why did Trickett bet so small? Wow, he's going to reach for bluffing chips here.
What is going on? Wow.
really
I mean,
big
this is
raise.
a peculiar hand selection all around.
I think I understand what Kenny's doing. The reason is if Trickett had a 7, he would bet bigger on the river because he only bet about a third of the pot. So he thinks Trickett is going for a thin value bet with a jack. He's not worried about Chidwick having a 7 because his expectation is that Chidwick would bet a 7 on the flop. He also doesn't think Chidwick has a flush, although he actually has in this situation, because Kenny thinks that Chidwick would have either bet the flop or the turn if he had a flush. So Chidwick's going to make the call here. I would like to see Trickett get away from the ace-jack. I think when you see a cold call for 102K, given how small this pot was, this looks very strong. That definitely beats ace-jack.
It's interesting because Trickett has a key card here, although the board's paired. You know, if the board doesn't pair, Trickett could even, you could really, you know, it's that much, makes it that much more sense for him to like rip it in as a, like you just almost have to get the credit for having it. But like now the board's paired. It's like, what is he, with this re-raise and a call, it's funny. And look at Chidwick, who extracts a lot of value all of a sudden with checking his hand twice, gets a random bluff in there from Bryn, random re-raise, and you know, he's gonna, unless somehow, the only way would be if somehow Sam decided to turn his hand into a bluff, rip it in. I don't even know if that would work at this point, but I mean, it would look pretty ridiculous. I don't know, the board's paired.
Well, you can see the body language. Doesn't seem like...
Wow!
I was going to say, it didn't seem like he's going to shove all in
This is
here.
insane hand. Bryn, the sick part is Bryn was right that Sam was weak. He made a ridiculous play. Now Chidwick,
So everyone has kind of like
wow,
one-upped everyone. Like just kind of like...
this is crazy. Sam Trickett, who finished second in the one-drop original $1 million buy-in to Antonio Esfandiari in 2012 for a $10 million score. Here he is on the big stage in his home country town. Well, home country, I don't know exactly where he's from in England, but Sam Trickett, legendary bluff on the river, and Chidwick, who checked twice, sets up what he wants, and now we got Sam. The re-raise, I don't think he's going to call.
Well, so let's think about it from Chidwick's point of view. He's thinking,
Wow.
did Trickett really check like a set or two pair on the flop to turn and only bet a third of the pot, win the 7 paired?
I'll tell you what, Chidwick is one of the most intimidating and regarded in the game now as maybe the best player, tournament player in poker, and you know, on a paired board as well. If Sam is like, I think that's what he's thinking. I have a flush. Is Sam gonna bluff with the dry ace when the board's paired on this action? You know, so from his mind, it's even, he's basically repping a boat, right?
Exactly.
I mean, he is repping a boat, but he has the ace of club hand, and this is high level all around. Really, one of the more interesting hands I've ever seen.
Yeah, so Chidwick is thinking,
Wow.
he's trying to break down the hand because he knows Trickett is capable of making really big plays. The thing is, would Trickett make this play with, say, a queen high flush, a king high flush? Would he make this with an ace high flush? Would he only do this with a boat because the board is paired? It's quite scary. Chidwick knows his hand looks very under-repped because he checked back the flop, he checked back the turn. Most certainly, if Chidwick had a set, he would have bet already. And he does lay it down.
With just a couple 100,000 in chips, you have to play pots.
5, call.
And again, Jungle Man just limping in here, allowing the blinds to get a free flop here.
I mean, he's lost every pot here against Phil Locke from this spot, just limping in. But this maybe is what he's been waiting for.
Well, he's not going to lose this one. It's come ace, king, queen. He's got 2 aces. He's not going anywhere, but Phil Locke's not going to put a nickel in the pot either, though.
40.
That's the problem.
No, don't do it. Phil's there's no way he's fallen into this trap.
Unbelievable.
I cannot believe he's fallen into this trap, Mike.
Look at this. The guy just took the chip lead. He can't stand it.
How did he fall?
He just likes playing on the short stack. He can't stand it. Unbelievable. Had nothing invested in this pot, and now all of a sudden it's going loop-de-loop.
And Mike, how brilliant does this make Jungle Man look? I mean, he set this up, but it just seems...
Well, Gentleman is worried about it, believe me. He's afraid the guy might have a jack 10, could have a king queen. I know he didn't raise before the flop. Probably put him on a flush draw. When an ace comes off, Jungle Man will not be going anywhere. And Phil Lock, I believe, is going to shut down right now. Yep. He's not going to lose another dime in this pot. He took a stab at it, didn't work. Just going to give it up. Now the club comes off. Not going to be a card that the Junglemen like to see right there, I can tell you.
Check.
You might give Phil Lock credit for having something.
Phil, here's the rope. You can reel yourself back in or loop it around your neck.
Oh my gosh. He just took the lead and he's just giving it away. He's trying. You got to give him credit. He's got some heart. Oh no! The Jungleman folded.
Oh,
3 aces there.
Oh my gosh!
I am in shock over that. I mean, he had to have a pat hand to have him beat.
We got one more hand.
Even if he had an ace, they were going to split the pot. 3 aces with a king queen.
Okay, yeah.
That is a shocking blow.
Mike, how
stunned.
excited is Phil Lock gonna be? How did he get away with that?
I'm stunned.
He looked like he was dead as a dormouse. I mean, Jungleman is about to find out the players are gonna be going on a break. This is gonna explode.
Can I buy 1 red 5?
I can't get him. He's too good.
500 more.
You gotta pick on me.
Got some hands here. Charlie raises it up to 10K with the ace queen. Kerry Katz calls behind with the ace jack of hearts. A couple of hearts also in Chinwei Lim's hand. Here's the 10-8 of hearts. And somehow, some way, we still find 2 hearts on the flop. Comes 9-5 deuce with 2 hearts. 5 hearts between our 3 players. 2 hearts on the flop.
13,500.
Katz leads here for 13,500 with the ace-high flush draw.
Setting a pretty reasonable price for Chinwei Lim to call.
Call he does.
Don't squeeze my lead out. You should be cautious.
It's actually telling the truth this time.
A warning sign to Charlie Carroll. He makes the call with ace queen. King of diamonds comes on the turn. No help to anybody. It's checked around to Charlie Carroll.
Charlie's the most likely to have a king in his hand, having raised pre-flop, so maybe it's a good time for him to stab at it.
That's what he'll do. He'll bet 50,000.
Carrie's just in such a gross spot with a hand with so much equity, especially if Chinwei Lim folds out. Katz has a lot more equity than it looks like right now. Just kind of gross.
Yeah. Tricky situation for Katz.
Actually, do they? Yeah, they actually count the cards that have been hit the muck, right? With the percentages
yes,
here?
I believe
okay,
so
so
here.
it always, would they take into account the 2 hearts that Chinwei has in his hand? So he really does just have 21%. Seems unfair for a hand this good to have 21%. But leading out and then checking the turn puts you in such like no man's land with your ace jack of hearts here. And not even closing the action would be problematic for me if I were in Katz's spot right here.
Time extension used.
And Carroll bet 50,000 with 78K behind. So it looks like you have absolutely no fold equity if you decide to raise here and just take your ace jack of hearts to the river. Wow.
There's the shove from Kerry Katz.
No fear.
Like 9 over.
Wow.
Nice hand indeed. Shows the ace-jack of hearts.
They thought about not inviting you.
Good to see you.
It's nice when you just win it, you know, the year before.
Hard to say. Well, yeah, I don't know if he's qualified.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to raise under the gun with king 6 suited, you know, is a little bit loose.
Head up, right?
Well, Tony G was last year. Was head up with you. So I got that's my horse. He's good.
Yep. There are some people you don't want to lose to head up. Tony G, Barry Shulman.
Well, he's bet 10,000 here, and Fraser's got top pair.
Well, Fraser's not a folder. We know that. So Fraser just has him absolutely nutted here. I mean, there's just he's drawing dead right now. Schwartz is, and so let's see if Schwartz can shut it down.
You won anything more recently?
Oh,
I won
no.
December of.
I mean, and Fraser is going to call 3 barrels, right? Just because of how active Luke has been.
Not this year.
You know, it's possible he could get him to lay it down. I mean,
$2,500 buy-in. It was televised. It was like 700 players in British Columbia and Canada. It was a side event.
Fraser's going to be sick if he gets bluffed and they tell him later he got bluffed. I mean, that's why he should call.
He's going to needle it.
That one.
That's why I noticed I mentioned
bringing Canada, right?
It was struck. It was so good.
9 of spades is kind of, you know, a decent card for him to make take a bluff at too. But
it completes a lot of straights. The 10 jack got there. The flush got there.
I have 2 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that one in Brock Parker.
He's going for it.
Again, I was up 2-1 chip.
Phil.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes for it. I
These
mean,
fees
it's
in
going to have to be a huge bet to get him off his hand. I mean,
Because I don't know. It was a 5K buy-in.
I'm not sure Luke's going to pull the trigger here. Yeah, looks like he is.
I checked online, like qualifiers and people bought in. It's like 300
Holy cow!
up to date.
What about that bet size? What does it say to Fraser?
I mean, the 52,000, it was a very nice bet. It was a very aggressive play, and I think if Fraser makes the call here, Fraser's just going to be in the driver's seat.
What about the 25K thing? That's televised probably.
Luke bet every. Here's where Fraser, sometimes in the Premier League, has been able to make some great reads. I'll give him credit. Sometimes he's able to just look and say, you know, I need to call, or I need to re-raise, or I need to do whatever. And I don't like the fact he's staring off into space. I'd prefer he were looking more at Luke, trying to figure it out. But
Phil, in Premier League 2, Roland DeWolf made a huge river bluff
and
against
Luke,
Fraser.
right, and Fraser's never been the same
He's
since
never
then.
been the same since. Here it is, Heat 1, a young gun. If he folds this, you gotta fear for him.
I like the fact he's looking at him. I think he's going to call.
He can afford it. He might just be saying to himself, I can't afford to get bluffed.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Oh my God!
I played like
Never a bluff, yeah.
a 25.
He's gonna show some. I think there's some energy brewing down there. Let's give it a minute to.
I want to show up. I want to
Show one then. That's always sexy. One card is sexy.
It'll be too obvious what I got.
What, if you show like the 5 of clubs?
Oh my God! Oh, so you got to give Luke some credit, and that's what happens with the young guns. Sometimes they come in and they put themselves in bad positions where the river bet has to work, and then afterwards everybody says, "Wow, great play," and you have to give him credit because he pulled the bluff off. But if he would have been called there, he'd be down to 150,000, and his credibility would have been destroyed.
That is full flush's personality in a nutshell. End game.
You got to give him credit, though. I mean, he pulled off the bluff against Fraser. I would never have tried that bluff against Fraser.